There is only one planet we know of so far that has life, and that planet is Earth. Now, as history shows, something's going to happen eventually to where we might have to leave that planet Earth. And when it happens, where are we going to go? So let me give you my top 5 potentially habitable alien planets. For number 5, I didn't look too far. I looked right down the road to the red planet. Now, the average temperature on Mars is minus 55 degrees Celsius. The average year is 687 days for one revolution around the sun. Now, Mars is approximately half the diameter of Earth. It is also less dense, having about 15% of Earth's volume, 11% of Earth's mass, resulting in about 38% of Earth's surface gravity. Nicknamed the Red Planet, mainly because the surface is covered by iron oxide, or we call it here on Earth, rust. Kind of looks like butterscotch. Other common surface colors includes the goldens, the browns, tans, and greenish, depending on the materials present. We've already sent rovers and landers there to test out everything we need to test out. So a pro in colonizing on Mars would be, it is very close and we can learn probably about as much as we need to take over that planet and make it ours. I would think one of the biggest challenges for terraforming Mars would be that red glow we would get all the time, because we are a little farther from the sun, and it would just be a tint on our eyes. We're so used to that blue and crystal clear sky to where look up and we would almost always just see a shade of red. Another similarity between Earth is it experiences seasons because both planets are tilted on their axis. Mars' seasons would be a little colder than Earth's just because we are farther away from the sun, so it would be basically cold and colder. Now, on top of seasons, the soil contains elements as magnesium, sodium, potassium, and chlorine. These nutrients are also found in the soil on Earth, so we would be able to grow our food if we needed to. And that would be a big thing to terraform a different planet. Now, number 4 is about 4.2 light years away. It's in the constellation of Centaurus, called Proxima Centauri b, or just Proxima b for short. Now, Proxima b, it orbits its star at about 4.6 million miles away with an orbital period of about 11.2 Earth days. So 1 year would be 11 days, would be a short year. It is in what they call the habitable zone for its star. So it would be able to support water in liquid form. Now it is 1.3 times the mass of Earth, so it is a little bigger, which is okay, we could fit more people on it. Even though Proxima b is in the habitable zone, the planet's habitability has been questioned in the past because it might be tidally locked to its host star. Even though the fact that it is 4 light years away, if we develop a faster space travel, we would be able to get there in a lifetime. Now, if the planet was tidally locked, it is expected that any habitable areas would be confined to the border region between the two extreme sides, the light and the dark. So it would be a constant twilight all the time. Never too light, never too dark, but the temperature might be just perfect for the human race. Now, as long as Proxima b would be able to support liquid water in pools, the human race might find itself there someday. Now on to number 3. We go to the constellation Cygnus. We reach Kepler 186f. Now, Kepler 186f is about 550 light years away. So light year wise, it would still take a while at that speed. Now, Kepler 186f was the first planet with a radius very similar to Earth to be discovered in the habitable zone of a different star. Now, it's only 10% larger than Earth, but it does lay on the outer edge of the habitable zone. NASA's Kepler spacecraft detected it using the transit method. along with 4 additional planets orbiting much closer to the star, all modestly larger than Earth. Now, the temperatures would probably be a lot like Mars. It would be chilly all of the time, but it does have a slight tilt, so we will get our seasons like we have here on Earth. Now, because Kepler 186f is so far, we can't yet tell what his atmosphere is like. But soon, NASA is launching the next generation instrument called the James Webb Space Telescope, and it will be able to give us a simple climate model. And by that, we can determine the temperature a lot more accurate. And if it fits our needs, Kepler 186f, here we come. Number 2, look closer. Look at Jupiter. Look at its moons. Europa. It is one of the smaller moons orbiting Jupiter, and it is the 6th closest to the planet, but it is also the 6th largest moon in the solar system. Now, Europa is slightly smaller than the Earth's moon. It is primarily made up of silicate rock, and it has a water-ice crust. It has a very tenuous atmosphere, and it's composed primarily of oxygen. It also has the smoothest surface of any known solid object in the solar system. So by that alone, it is telling us it is one of the youngest planets in our solar system. Now, the apparent youth and smoothness of the surface have led the hypothesis that a water ocean exists beneath it, which could conceivably harbor extraterrestrial life already. Now, the ocean under the ice does remain liquid from the planet's tidal flexing. It is very similar to what we know as plate tectonics here on Earth. Now, the planet does receive a lot of radiation, but if we were under the ice and were able to use the tidal flexing for heat and able to take care of mankind in an underground base structure, we'd be able to colonize Europa, and we wouldn't be too far from our home planet. So if anybody ever got homesick, you can look up at the sky and find the blue planet, and remember that was home. We fall to number 1, also known as Earth 2.0. Kepler 452b is Earth's cousin. Number 1 habitable planet that mankind needs to go to, if need be. It is 1,400 light years from Earth, and it's in the constellation Cygnus. It was identified by the Kepler Space Telescope, and discovery was announced by NASA on the 23rd of July, 2015. It was the first potentially rocky super-Earth. Now, 452b does have a mass 5 times that of Earth, and its surface gravity is about twice as much, although the calculations of mass for exoplanets are only rough estimates, so we could be way off. Now, when it comes to climate and years and distance from a star, this is the most similar than any other planet I have found looking at every single exoplanet mankind would be able to colonize. It is more similar to Earth than any other exoplanet out there. Now, we don't know too much about Kepler 452b, but when the James Webb is launched, will we be able to detect the atmosphere and know more information about it? Maybe Mars will not be that planet anymore we're trying to get to. Maybe it will be Kepler 452b. Now, 10 million years from now, will we be here on Earth, or will we be colonizing Kepler 452b? Let's just call it Kep 2.0 Earth. Why would we have left Earth? Why are we leaving? How will we get there? Will we be the same people when we get there? Will we learn from our mistakes? Well, that's our little guide through the Milky Way of habitable exoplanets. I hope you enjoyed. I hope we never have to leave Earth in a hurry. Thank you.